In search for perfection, you miss the beauty. Good morning, good evening, or good night to the lovely people watching. In today's video, we will be speaking about that right there. In search for perfection, you miss the beauty. I'm going to bring a personal experience or a personal example into this by bringing up discipline. Recently, for the past couple of years, I've been disciplined going to the gym, been disciplined building a mindset, been experimenting with a lot of stuff. And I learned a lot of stuff along the way. I have failed, I have fallen, and there's a lot of victories and a lot of failures that I never post online, never spoken about. Today is going to be an exception. I deem, bear with me, this right here is a victory. That is a beer can. Before I started this video, I finished it, but I enjoyed every sip of it. As in general, I don't drink, but today I felt for a beer. Sometimes life can be a little hectic and you just need to ease on the gas pedal. When you push your body and your mind for far too long without taking a healthy sort of break, you'll crash. You'll get a burnout and you'll have to recover, spending a couple of weeks just figuring a few things out. Today, out of all days, I've done two main things that are different. For me, it may seem as the most casual thing ever for a random and maybe even normal human being, but for me, it means everything. I never drink, and I've never really liked the taste of a beer. But as grown older, I've started to enjoy the small stuff, and that's where the quote come in search of perfection, you miss the beauty. I want to enjoy a beer on a nice summer day. Crack a cold one after working hard in the summer breeze or this scorching sunlight. Today, about 9 hours ago, I sat in the forest. On pure instinct, I said, you know what? I want to do something different. So I grabbed my headset and I walk out the door. And then I put on some music I really rarely listen to. Minecraft music. For me, it just was a flash down memory lane where, damn, Minecraft is such a great game and in general had such an amazing soundtrack. So I just pressed shuffle and just let Spotify do its thing. And when I did that, I zoned out in a healthy way, of course. Before that, before I even went outside, I grabbed 5 Pokemon cards or Pokemon packs. Went outside and went to the forest. I found a fallen tree. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to sit there. I took off my headset. And before I rushed to opening the Pokemon packs itself, I sat there for maybe 5 to 10 minutes and I just listened. Squawk, 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 squawk. I don't know how to imitate a bird, but you get what I'm trying to do. That I was listening to birds chirp in the distance, the trees, the leaves. And it was nice to see that spring is here. I was seeing bees and I was seeing flowers blooming, and it was very, very nice, to be very honest with you, because it created a sort of perspective for me that, bro, recently I've been pushing and pushing. I mean physical and mental to its nearly absolute limit. Since I know myself better than anyone, pushing yourself way too much for an extended period of time, you're most likely going to get a burnt out. But before I entered this burnout phase, I just eased on the gas pedal and I was just like, shh, okay, we're just going to slightly push in the brakes. And when I did that, I felt this tension of my body, my mind, just, excuse me, because I did something differently. No matter how old you are watching my videos, if you're 16 or all the way up until your 50s, one thing I want you to learn and actually maybe implement in the next week or something. Take a step back from everything you're doing and do something you rarely, or maybe you've never even done. Take a risk by taking a day off. Not a sort of risk where you're putting yourself on the line and you're gambling with your life or you're gambling with your wallet. No, no. Just actually challenge yourself to do something out of the ordinary in order to get a different perspective. Recently, I've been blinded, even though I can perfectly see. I've been blinded in such a way that I've missed so many beautiful things. Earlier today, I was in the forest and I was looking at this particular tree, or the tree that I looked at, the fallen one. It really gave me a perspective about life that even after death or a fallen tree, it still has its use. The tree fell down at a perfect angle and it was this really nice, I don't remember if it's the place I was sitting on was basically the bottom of the tree. I don't remember the English. I don't remember the word for it. I have it at the tip of my tongue, but it's frustrating that I can't mention the specific word. I just sat on it and I was just observing that even after death, everything has its use. And even amongst the living, everyone plays their own role. And that, second time I'm going to mention it, that is where in search of perfection you miss the beauty. For example, I've been going to the gym so much that I've started to miss a few things. I've been chasing the goal to get that PR, to achieve this, to achieve that I forgot the small steps. I forgot to appreciate the small things in between. For example, I was at the gym today. Crappy workout. Honestly, I can just say that right out. A crappy workout. But later today, or earlier today, after the gym, I was grateful that I still showed up to the gym even though I was feeling crappy. Because that's where the consistency comes in. And when I spoke about me being blinded, it was more of maybe a metaphorical way that I sometimes skip things I should pay attention to. The small things. Because I'm so preoccupied about the bigger picture, the big end goal, that I've achieved many PRs lately. And I've exceeded the goals that are written down when it comes to the gym. And it just felt off. It didn't feel right. You want to know why? Because I was searching for perfection. I was striving so much recently to achieve that goal that when I finally achieved it, the expectations that I had of the victory, I didn't even feel it. I was like, man, I achieved it, cool. Bro, I spent I can share this goal since I've already achieved it, and I posted a video on TikTok. I achieved 220 kilos in hip thrust on the Smith machine. Do you know what my original goal was? When I began this journey, it was 150. I may cry in this video, and I can accept that. Fuck. I felt like shit. In the moment, I felt great that I was able to exceed expectations for my goals. But I lost something. I was so focused on just lifting, or I was so focused on achieving that goal and going above and beyond for some particular reason. Maybe it was for validation or seeking out strength or chasing something, that I missed it completely. I have now rewritten that goal, and a new goal has arisen that I'm going to chase 250 kilos on the Smith machine when it comes to hip thrust. But the next time I achieve 230, even 221 kilos, 230 kilos, 240, 250, I will take a step back and I will drag myself into the moment. Or in the moment, I will tell myself, or even if I've written it down before, enjoy this victory. Enjoy the small step. And that's the thing I would like also to bring in this video about society as a whole. I'm not going to shit on society and tell everything what's wrong with it. I just want to say that we are so busy chasing clout, chasing perfection, chasing women, chasing men, that we forget ourselves. In general, the amount of time that we spend on our phones, doom scrolling, it's not a way of living. I've done it myself. I did it earlier today. I can hold myself accountable and say that. That we're so preoccupied that we forget to live life. And our phone, these gadgets, I sound old when I say this, it kind of fucks up with your mind, you know? I can bring in the example of me going into the forest earlier, and when I actually took off my headphones and I put my phone in my backpack and I was just sitting there enjoying the moment, I was not chasing dopamine. I was not trying to seek validation. I was doing this because I needed a break. Because I've been doing the same things so much recently that I needed to switch up. I needed to turn a new leaf. I need to spice things up in a new way. Like, try a new recipe when it comes to food. Add a little different sort of ingredient to the things that you eat. Go out maybe less. Make a meal at home. It's those small differences, those small victories that really add up when you grow older. I'm going to mention something I remember vividly from about a decade ago, back when I was 13. I remember when I used to live in a different place. I remember it was a day when my mom said, "Go outside, you need fresh air. You've been sitting in front of this PlayStation for far too long." And I was sulking, just like, no. Fine. And I went to the forest. And I found this stick. And I was starting to use my imagination. So I pretended to be a Jedi. Like, pew, pew, deflecting the incoming blasters from the droids. Because when I grew up, I used to watch the Clone Wars, Star Wars show. And my fantasy has always been vivid, even as a grown, even a young adult. I love my fantasy. And that inner child that I have, I fucking appreciate it. Because it's a small victory for me that fantasy for me is quite a lot. Because for me, I draw a lot. And for that, I need fantasy. I need like a different sort of perspective. Like, I want to spice things up. So what I do is that I envision something from a TV show and just like, yeah, that blue color right there, kaboom. And that's just things that I feel like we're starting to forget. We live in a so fast-paced world that when we actually start to step on the brakes and start to calm down and start to catch ourselves in the moment and think manually instead of being an autopilot, things change. And by the way, these were the 2 hits that I got when I was in the forest. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that I might as well spice up my YouTube videos. That instead of sitting in this room, I should change the location. I should bring the camera setup outside. Buy a mic that you see on these influencers and speak outside instead. Because then I'm able to be surrounded by fresh air, birds chirping in the distance, and a different setting. I know this YouTube video has been a little all over the place. I'm just 1 beer down and hella tired. I just wanted to make a YouTube video before I go to bed. And quite frankly, honestly, with you, I don't expect this video to perform well. I don't expect this video to get that many views. Honestly, I'm doing this because of me. YouTube started off as a fear because I hated putting myself in front of a camera. But quite honestly, I'm going to sound like an egotistical jackass when I say this, but I fucking find myself handsome. And I mean that because for me, when I can sit here and say that in front of a camera and post that online, that means a lot for me because I've always self-hated and self-criticized myself. That me sitting here openly and saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm handsome. I fucking love myself. So should you, bro. Or girls or whatever the fuck who is watching me. You should love yourself. I mean, shit. Stop comparing yourself to everyone else. That's one thing I did earlier today. When I was scrolling on social media, I was like watching like all these people, like people my age getting married, people my age getting their license, people my age getting their dream jobs. And I'm here like, bro, I'm living life. I'm trying to make the very best out of it. But I shouldn't compare myself to them. I should be saying, you know, congratulations for getting your dream job. Congratulations for becoming a father or a mother. Congratulations for finishing your education. Everyone is their own line in their own field and exceeding in life in general. If you see it here towards the end, I'm very thankful for that because one last advice before I go. I'm really shitty at saying goodbyes. But you should really understand this what I'm about to say. Wherever you are in life, wherever your position is in, fucking stop comparing yourself to anyone. If you're 30 watching my videos and you're like, I still live at my mom's place, I live in the basement. If you don't like that, you need to understand that it's your life and you need to change it if you're dissatisfied with your surroundings. Of course, it's easier said than done. I remember the same thing goes for when I was going to get my first job ever, my first ever 9 to 5. I struggled. I didn't know how to make a job application. I got rejected, or I never got an answer from the jobs that I applied for, but I tried. And now I am working, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm in a position in life where it's time for change. And the only person that can change anything, it's me. If I dissatisfied with my job life, well, time to change careers, I guess. If I'm dissatisfied with my routines, I mean, shit, time to change. Time to do something new, time to explore. But remember that, and forget all these internet people that, even though they're successful and make more money than us, forget them for a second and listen closely. The amount of time that you spend playing video games, the amount of time that you explored, the amount of times you've been in and out of relationships, the amount of times that you sat down drunk in a beer, the amount of times you failed, the amount of times you've done something in your life. As long as you learn from the experience, as long as you learn something along the way, nothing wrong with it. That time you've put into something will give you something back. I mean, take Pokemon cards for me. Take the amount of hours I spent at work in order to use a little bit of my paycheck to buy a few packs, if I could afford some, that specific month. And sit down and enjoy it. Spend an hour or two watching my collection, going on TCG Player or Collector and registering the new to my collection, and being grateful for it. Because one day we're going to grow old and we're going to look back on our life. Up until this point, for the past 2 years, I am grateful for all the failures. I thought I would never say that sentence. I'm grateful for all the friendships I've lost, all the relationships I've fucked up. I'm grateful because I learned something from it. I grew. I don't have that video anymore, unfortunately, but if I did have the first video I ever posted on YouTube, you would have seen the massive change. As long as you're growing, as long as you're learning, as long as you're having fun and you're living life to the best every single day, I don't see an issue. It is you versus you. It's getting late. Fuck everyone else, but see you guys when you need. Mwah, take care.